Okay, welcome to Moody's Mixer. Winning with prostate cancer, no fear necessary. Happy Monday. Yeah, another week. And is it the same old that we've had every week? And I just want to have a quick little talk. Mondays always kind of starts my week and what I need to do, kind of get me going in the right direction. And it seems like it's always the same thing. And one of the things that we always kind of count on is our car is working for us when we put the key in the ignition. We want this thing to start rolling for us, right? That's the expectation. No matter what happens, we're ready to roll. But sometimes it just doesn't happen. The car doesn't start. Some things going on that makes us late to work. But what I always start trying to understand is, did I have warning? What do I actually look at to make sure my week is going to be better than the last week or the same or whatever? Are there things that are happening that I know now are changing how my week is going to perform? And it's kind of the same things even with our bodies. What do we do? What tells us, hey, look, there's some things I need to do. And I started looking into I don't know why my light's going in and out. I apologize for that. But what makes us stop, think, do something different, take the car to the shop or not? And one of the things I noticed, I had to take inventory myself is when I get in the car and I see all these gauges and I see the lights come on. Do I do anything different when I see these lights on in my car? The check engine light, battery, brake, door open. What makes us do something different when we see these indicators? Now, I told the story about my hoopty or hoopties that I've had. And eventually, a brand new car that we bought that we took care of, we cleaned it every week. We said we're never going to eat or drink in this car, because it's fresh smelling, it smells good, and just feeling good as a new car. And then the owner's manual says, take it in for these scheduled maintenance. Because some cars, that maintenance book is value. Because if you can show that you've maintained the maintenance schedule, that car has increased value because it's probably in better shape than those who did not take care or do the scheduled maintenance, even though it may not be in the book. And let's say if they were in the book or not, that scheduled maintenance is important. But to prove that you have that scheduled maintenance, that book becomes important. And we do everything we can to stay in there so we don't mess up that value. And as I look at these gauges and when we get in the car, what makes us stop? Now, again, these hoopties, only you can drive your hoopty. You can't give your hoopty to anyone else because that's when the steering wheel gonna fall off, or the turn signal, the wipers stop working, or something crazy if you let anyone else drive your car. And it really isn't their fault because they're gonna treat your car like they would treat anything else that works properly. But when they get in your car, it ain't the same. And when you get in your car, there's something a little different that only you can deal with those nuances. So for the most part, we don't do much of anything really except maybe go put gas in it because we know when the gas gets low, we in trouble. We can't drive it. Check engine light may make us stop. But most of us say, "Oh man, I done drove with my check engine light on for 6 months, for 2 years. I even passed emissions." Now, some of us may take it because we're told, "Hey, if your check engine light is on, you won't pass emissions." So we at least take it in and have them tell us what the problem is. But even when they tell us, we said, "Well, just do enough for me to what? Pass inspection." We really don't want the full diagnosis or the full what it takes to repair everything to get it back in its manufactured state, to do all those things. So now we start just doing just a little bit. See, my battery light came on last week or a couple of weeks ago, and it came on before that. And I told them, "Hey, my battery light came on. What you gonna, oh, everything's fine," because I put a new battery in it, and they said everything's fine. But when that thing failed on me a couple of weeks ago, it was the same thing. That battery light popped back on. Now, if the oil light comes on, typically we know we need to go take it in, because if we don't put any oil in it, it's gonna seize the engine. It's just too critical. That's a diagnosis or an indicator that we're gonna do something about. So a lot of these other indicators, we just kind of say, it doesn't matter. And does it not matter? And I just ask, are our bodies worth more than our cars? That we look at certain indicators and say, you know what, these are the things we need to do. So I'm going to show you. Hope I can make it. I don't know if I can make it bigger, but I'm just going to show you kind of a diagnosis. Because when you take your car in, they say, "Hey, we're going to run a diagnosis. It's going to be $150. But if you do some of the work, we're going to give you credit for that diagnosis." Well, here's a diagnosis. This was as you can see, a comprehensive blood panel that I had back in 2013. And I'm showing you this not to show you my stuff, but I am showing you my stuff. But it's the only thing I can show you. But as we go through this, you're going to see the ebb and flows of different indicators. And hopefully that starts helping you see your own indicators and what you need to do. As you can see, it's a comprehensive metabolic panel. And I get mine, done at Quest. And one of the things I like is there's an app. So as soon as the results are in, it's right on my app. I can just go to my app and I can look at my full report. So I don't even have to look at the PDFs because they're on my app. Now, ironically, this is before the app was actually doing that. So this is why you're looking at a PDF copy. But I'm just telling you this, that there are ways you can keep track and show the ebb and flows of different indicators. But this is kind of what a comprehensive blood panel looks like. It has a lot of things on it, and so the things are in blue. These are things that are either high or low. They're out of the ranges. So these are like the warning lights coming on. So I go get my physical, I get my blood work, and I start driving the car, and then I get certain warning lights. And here were my warning lights back in 2013. you know, my white blood counts, red blood counts, all those were good. But then, lymphocytes, and a lot of these things were low or high. And the one that really hit me hard was my vitamin D back in 2013. And you've heard me talk about vitamin D. And I'm just showing you this right now just to get us familiar with the comprehensive panel, just not to be afraid to get a copy and to understand what you're looking at for you. But my vitamin D level, this back in 2013, it was lower than the low range. I was out of the box. Now it's not marked in blue, but it is marked down maybe in a specific area. I don't know if it's here, but I think vitamin D was just at the end of the page. Why did this is not marked blue or red even? I don't know, but it doesn't matter. But this tells a lot. And as we get a little deeper into each one of these line items, and kind of understand what they mean, the sodium and potassium, all these things, my cholesterol, HDL, all these things, and we should be able to take our own blood pressure, not that we have to do it like they do with the stethoscope and got to count and do all, hey, just get one of those LED, electronic ones, you just put it around and it reads it for you. So you can, keep your blood pressure. And I always, I sleep with mine by the bed and I try to check it often. I used to do it every day. I don't do it like that anymore because my blood pressure is under control. But the point is, are we no better needing attention than we give our cars, looking at certain indicators? And that's why you've heard me stress, go get your blood panel so you can see what the indicators are, to see where you fall. What are they telling us? I guess we can never be afraid to look at what's really going on, or what's going on, whether we know or not, doesn't change what's really happening. And that's why finding out which one of your gauges are lit becomes important, because you can make changes. Whether or not to, take the, add oil. And just because your oil light's on, your oil light on somebody else's oil light on could mean two different things. One could have a leak. One could have never changed their oil before. So even a indicator, same car, same model, could have different results, because it could be different things that are going on that's causing that light to go on. So understanding your own gauges and indicators are important. So I just want to leave us with, go get your indicators. Find out what's happening. Don't be afraid, because it doesn't change what is really going on inside. Doesn't make a difference. So get your indicators, learn about them so you know what it means. Yes, it's nice to get advice from people and, hey, you can take this helps that, but it may not work for you. So when you start looking at all your different indicators, then you know how to make your adjustment. So you got to get you a doctor and a team who can help you kind of navigate it. And this is not about whether you do natural or, you use, medicines or drugs or whatever. It's not about that. Because even, however you do it, you still got to understand it. I just found for me knowing a few of these nuances is making my health and my life completely different just by knowing just a little. So go get your blood panel. Start your day. Now this is the building block. This is how you start the race. You can't start the race, or you won't even get in the race if you don't know where you are. Building that base. This is how you build your base with your health. So get your blood panel, and we're going to go through some of these areas of the blood panel just for understanding, not to give any advice of what you need to do, but just so you have a better understanding. So I want to thank you for taking a few minutes to listen to me. And as I'm just going to show you these gauges, just think about the gauges in your life and what makes those gauges, impact your decision. So thank you. Happy Monday. Continue to be blessed. Continue to keep moving and continue to gain knowledge. Again, thank you and have a blessed day.